Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is our Simple Abundance year, our journey through Sarah Ban Beathnach's book, Simple Abundance. Thanks for being here. It's actually a Saturday and I'm not laying down. I probably will right after I record this, but I'm sitting upright for today's entry. I told you already, the name of it is Sometimes Ignorance is Bliss. What do you think about that statement? Remember when we were talking about worry recently and I said that it would be so nice to know what the future held, because then you could stop worrying about all the possible outcomes. But maybe you don't want to know some of the outcomes, because Sarah gives it a good example of, like, if you took your dream job and then 6 months later that company went belly up, like, you wouldn't really want to know that. Although now that I'm saying that out loud, kind of would be nice to know that, so that you could just get a different job. I don't know, let's see, I might be arguing with her in this one. But I did tell you that I'm happier in denial, I'm happier in fantasy land. I'm very much in reality this year, and like a million other days lately, I just was wiping away tears. It's just a challenging year for me, and just a difficult part of my life right now, but I'm very grateful for the book. And I'm gonna try not to ruin this entry. Here we go. So Sarah says, trust me, you don't want to know. Ignorance is a protective blessing. We don't need to know just how much we took on when we accepted the artistic assignment. There's a reason Isabel Beaton was kept in the dark. She's the one who wrote the Book of Household Management. And why was it good she was kept in the dark? She said, if we ever had an inkling of the intense labor required to bring this work into the world, we'd be out of here. Well, okay, so she's saying, like, we don't want to really know the truth about what potential challenges and struggles we may have ahead. I can agree with that. I mean, I was thinking earlier today that there's one thing that I really want in my life. And I think if you told me that I could never have that, even though it feels impossible right now to me, but it's kind of like this one thing that I have hope about. But if you told me that I would never have that, I don't know, like, I guess I'd rather have the ignorance and hope. I mean, like, I don't want to know that my hope is for nothing. I suppose it could be just like the job scenario, though, that she mentions. It's like, if you knew that what you wanted was never going to happen, then you wouldn't have that hope, but maybe you'd make other choices, and maybe you'd find other things to have hope in, instead of just holding on to that one hope that maybe is blocking you from other possibilities. What do you guys think about that? Sarah goes on to say, when the visitation comes, it's a razzle-dazzle of golden possibilities that seduces us. Ignorance is a part of infinite intelligence's inviting come hither. So see, it's like in my instance where I'm saying, like, I have one thing that I hope for, that it kind of keeps me going, and so it's that come hither. Why else are heavenly encounters accompanied by brilliant, blinding light? because we're not supposed to see too far ahead. That's an interesting thought. We're not supposed to know. Don't forget that the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden was from the tree of knowledge. Yeah. That's my kitty Annabelle, if you're just tuning in for the first time. All we need to know is that Spirit knows what we don't. If we get out of the way, we'll be shown the next step, including how not to sell ourselves short as we gracefully grow into our gifts. So, I mean, in terms of creating, because we've been talking about being an artist, I suppose if you decided that you wanted to do, like, have an undertaking of some creative aspiration, like say you wanted to have a business or you were writing a book or something like that, then it would suck if you found out ahead of time that it was never going to be a bestseller, or you were going to open it and then fail with it in a few years. Like, we probably would never take chances if we knew. Although, here's the devil's advocate. I keep saying this, like, now that I'm thinking of it. Yes, ignorance is bliss because we do try things, but if we knew something was going to fail, wouldn't we try to do it in a different way? I don't know. This one's making me think, because I get what she's saying. It's good to know. It's good to not know, I mean. Because maybe, I don't know, if we did know, it would be a bummer. Like, say everything you wanted, you found out that you couldn't have that. Like, you could do like a time traveling thing where you could go in the future and then you could be like, wow, I didn't get any of those things that I want right now in the present time. Then you wouldn't really want to keep going. It's just like where I said earlier, like, if you told me today that one hope that I have, and I shouldn't be wrapping my happiness all around that. I'm not saying that that's my only reason for happiness, but it's just kind of like something that I do want. But if you told me today, like, Carolyn, you're never gonna have that. I don't know, that would be sad. And in terms of a creative thing, like, you would never start. You would never try if you knew that you were going to be just hit with millions of roadblocks. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? I want to hear your thoughts on whether you think that if you knew something was going to fail, because that's kind of like what Sarah's saying. She's kind of talking about being ignorant of the challenges. But on the other side of it, remember the other day I said, what if you knew for sure that the things that you wanted were absolutely happening? You would totally act differently. I've been thinking about that a lot recently. But I can see why we're not meant to know. And the whole thing about the bright light, that's pretty interesting. I haven't really thought about that. That you're just walking towards this light. And some people have gone on and had near-death experiences and remember things, but you do think about that light and returning to the light. It is pretty interesting that as humans, there's so much we don't know. I mean, it's such a miracle that we are living on this spinning disc in the sky, you know? And there's so much we don't know. And we can ascribe some things to religion and give explanation and mythology and, I don't know, stories handed down from generation to generation. But we really don't know until we are at the end of our lives, and then whatever happens after that, then we know. Then that's infinite intelligence. We become a part of that. So then we know. I don't know. Wow, there's so many facets to this idea. Let me know what you think. This is definitely a discussion topic because I think everybody's probably going to have different thoughts about this. Hope you are finding it something to be thinking of, and I will see you tomorrow. I haven't even looked ahead. It's going to be, you can't be original, you can be authentic. So more about authentic living, it sounds like. I haven't read that one. I'll be back with you then. Thanks again for watching, as always, and I'll see you tomorrow.